All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with me again. I'm your host, John. Welcome to my podcast. Today, we're talking about how empathy is the key. Specifically, empathy is the key to curing division and helping bring us together, especially when there's disagreement or arguments about. And so, we're just going to get started. There is a lot of tension in the world today. A lot of people are very angry with other groups of people. There's a lot of us versus them mentality going around. And it's really, really unfortunate. And my theory, my hypothesis, is that empathy will be one of the key factors in helping undo the division that we see, helping us unite people in a way that we all hope for. And here's why. I once heard a great quote by Neil Gaiman, and I really do believe that it's true. It's that ideas live in the heart, not the mind. And I think that's so true because based on how people react when you challenge their beliefs and ideas nowadays, I think we all have an emotional bond to what we believe and our ideas. And so, in order for us to give those up, it's not just a head matter. It's not just a matter of changing our mind. It's a matter of our heart deciding to release those ideas, to release those beliefs, and replace them with something new. You know, the heart will always seek to have things in it when it comes to relationships, families, and, you know, if you lose a loved one, you feel a hole in your heart. When you have a breakup or you can't get a relationship, you feel a certain emptiness. And I think it's the same thing with beliefs and ideologies and having a sense of belonging in different groups, whatever that group may be, a religious group, a political group, you know, left, right, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, NDP. I really don't care what it is. I'm politically agnostic myself. I don't care to affiliate with any party. Whatever it is, we hold those beliefs in our heart as part of our identity. And so in order to get people to change their mind on some of these really deep social issues, it's a heart matter. It's a matter of their heart going, hey, I don't want to hold this in me anymore. I want to give it up and replace it for something that I now think is better. And the only way, the reason I think empathy is one of the keys is because the only way to get something out of someone's heart is to open their heart up to something new. So, for example, if I don't want to use too polarizing of an example but if I want to convince somebody that their idea is wrong and that my way of thinking is correct, I first have to touch their heart in some way and show them that my idea is actually pro them. My idea is beneficial to them. And their concerns can be taken care of while they're benefited as well. And so, in order to get someone to change their mind, you have to first touch their heart. I don't believe forcing or oppressing someone or yelling at someone has ever worked to actually change their mind. You may get them to give assent to your values if you use enough force, but I don't think they ever truly become your ally. Let's run the quick experiment. Let's take one of your dearest held beliefs, something you believe, an economic policy, or a political belief, a religious belief, anything. And someone comes along and yells at you and tells you that you're stupid and that you're part of the problem and that you're really stupid for believing that and you being the way that you are is contributing to society's mess. Are you open to them? Are you open? Are you suddenly open saying, oh yeah, this person's my friend, they have my best interests at heart. Sure, I'll change my beliefs for them and believe what they want me to believe. No, of course not. You're not going to do that at all. What you're going to do is say, man, this person is awful to me. I don't want to be near them. I don't want to associate with them. I don't want them in my life. And I don't want them in my life. I don't want their ideas in my life either. You see the problem here? Your ideas, the things that you value, are automatically associated with you. So when you run around treating people like crap because they're different than you, or they have different beliefs, or they have beliefs that offend you, they associate your ideals and your beliefs with you being a jerk, with you being a bad person, and they're actually going to close themselves off to you. And you might actually create embitteredness You might create bitterness in them against you and against other people like you and against people who hold to your beliefs. You're actually pushing them farther away from the truth that you hold dear, from what it is that you believe in. You're pushing them farther away from that by mistreating them, by making them bitter. And so that's the reason why I think it doesn't work. And that's why I think empathy is the key, because treating someone with kindness and respect, in spite of the fact that they are on the opposite political side than you, they're on the opposite side of you, treating them with kindness and defying the norm, okay? They're not on your side. It's us versus them right now. And they don't count you as one of them, and you don't, and they expect that you don't consider them as one of you. But when you reach out to them and you treat them with kindness and respect and with decency, suddenly there's that bond here. You create a sort of bridge. It's like, hey, this person's not like me. I'm not one of them, and yet he respects me. He treats me with kindness. He builds me up. He treats me like a decent human being. He looks past our ideological differences and just validates me as a human being. Okay, I can respect that. I appreciate that. And now suddenly, through time, that this doesn't happen overnight, their heart can be more. Their heart is open to you, and thus their heart is more open to your beliefs. And again, you may agree to disagree your whole life, but it's the first step. That is the first step that has to happen in you changing someone's mind. Is that their heart has to be open to you as a person, because when they think well of you and when they accept you as a part of their life and saying, hey, he's nice, I'm down to hang out with him, I'm down to know them, I'm down to let them play a certain role in my life, well, now they're more likely to be down to accept your beliefs, or at least open to it. They're not gonna automatically believe what you believe, because they have all the reasons to believe what they believe. But at least now there's that rapport there. There's a bridge built. And honestly, I think that's the first step. And that's why I think empathy is the key, because it all has to start with empathy. It all has to start with kindness. If we keep alienating each other because we're offended by each other and we're tearing each other apart, labeling each other, slandering each other, canceling each other, we're never going to get anywhere. The division will continue to grow, and we're just not going to tolerate each other. And that's unfortunate. And so I really, really think that empathy is the key. And honestly, it's difficult. It's difficult to have empathy for people that are the exact opposite than you, that may offend you, and their beliefs may upset you, you may disagree with it. But honestly, I think that's the only way to begin to make any sort of change. I think that's the only way to show them that, hey, your beliefs are not something to be feared. In fact, they might be something to be considered. I think kindness is the only way to start that process. It's not the only thing. It's not the only thing that happens. I'm not saying that just because you're nice to someone, they're going to change their mind on everything they believe. No, that won't happen. But at least they'll be open to you, and then later on they might be open to your beliefs. And at the very least, you can begin living together in harmony and not hostility. And agree to disagree and go about your lives in perfect peace with each other. And so that's why I think empathy is the key. And again, I would just say you can't spread truth with unkindness or violence or hostility. There's a passage in the Bible where it talks about how when the guards came to arrest Jesus, Peter took a sword to defend them and cut the ear off one of the soldiers. And Jesus picked up the ear and put it back on. The moral of that story is that if you try to use violence, hostility, anger, or resentment, or any kind of aggressive pressure, you actually cut the ears off people in a big way. They will not hear your truth. They will not hear you out when you use aggression. That's the moral of the story. Jesus showed kindness and put the ear back on that person. And he's much more likely to consider him someone worthy of a friend, someone worth following, because he actually showed him kindness. So the moral of the story is you cannot spread truth with violence. You cannot spread truth with hostility or hatred. So I think empathy and kindness has to be the key. And that is my hypothesis. I hope it helps you. I hope it's blessed you. I hope you have an amazing, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening with me. My name's John. You can follow me on all my social media accounts at John McElway. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.